let me work. So you do the math. I needed to leave in order to make a better life for my children, and I picked doing work that allowed me to be home safely raising my own kids, and I'm a sexy soul, so I'm very comfortable doing these things, and I would have been doing it anyway for free, so might as well get my bills paid.
Doing what for?
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Exhausted Truth, where I am your host, and I'm very exhausted. I'm always having to tell the goddamn truth, but hey, someone's got to do it. All right, hey, look, I don't know what to think of this video. I'm just gonna be honest. I haven't watched enough of it yet to really be able to judge, but it's going down a path that I don't know where to start. So let's watch it together, and maybe we can, gather more analysis for our judgment. I don't know how else to. It is what it is, because that's what we're gonna do. All right, let's go. Let's get this thing started. How to even fathom what this woman is saying in the first place. So how the hell can I judge and pick things apart? I don't know where to start, but we'll get there. We'll find our footing along the way.
Sure. Does this woman realize she's admitting to the world she's willing to prostitute for a burrito? What kind of tests do these men need to do when they're done with this? Harlot?
Yeah.
I don't know what the question is.
Like, do you make them take like an SAT test or like LSAT?
We have conversations just like anybody else.
I don't know. Okay. I don't know. This one, Maddie?
So in other words, rather than working on and saving her marriage, she decided to go from loyal wife to single 3-0 foe, putting her own needs in front of your own children. So sad. I feel for the children.
Well, guess what? Their dad...
Hey, sometimes in the comment sections, you guys think I'm harsh? Listen to these comments. Listen to these comments telling me I'm harsh.
Made $35,000 a year with a family of 5. And guess what? This guy was so controlling and insecure, he wouldn't let me work. So you do the math. I needed to leave in order to make a better life for my children, and I picked doing work that allowed me to be home safely raising my own kids, and I'm a sexy soul, so I'm very comfortable doing these things, and I would have been doing it anyway for free, so might as well get my bills paid.
Doing what for free? Hold on.
I would be going on dates or having sex with people or having conversations with people.
Wait, while you were married?
I paused it, but she definitely has a. Hold on, let's play it because she's.
Well, I had my first marriage where we had agreed to monogamy. We were Christians and we had the whole typical setup. So I never would have done that in my marriage.
You've been married multiple times.
Okay.
And then my second time, I tried it again and we did a non-traditional thing. So I didn't do it legally. I never agreed to monogamy. We had an open relationship.
So you got married in a church?
The first time, not in the church.
But you said you were married a second time. So
the second time we had our own ceremony and we did it our own way. It was non-traditional because I wasn't going to agree to any of that anymore. It just didn't fit me.
And how many kids do you have?
I have 3 children. I had them with my husband, my first husband. Yeah.
Bro, soon as you know Andrew's in one of these videos, bro, soon as you know he's in one of these videos, soon as his little fucking camera pops up, bro, you start these bitches about to get ripped apart.
The same dad.
You said he was making $35K?
$35,000
What was he doing
a year
for work?
He was he's like a grunt at a law firm. Does plumbing.
Paralegal?
No, he does plumbing. He's like their bitch. He does electrical.
He was a plumber at
Bro, she acts like he was like a homeless man who was panhandling in front of this law office. He worked there. And it sounds like he had many different jobs. Sounds like a pretty essential man, if you ask me. It's not his fault they don't compensate that with a lot of money. But damn. See what I'm saying? I don't know.
A law firm?
He's just a jack of all trade that was like
a handyman?
Yeah, kind of like a handyman. He would do some IT stuff for them. He's a very smart jack of all trades guy, but his level of worthiness was so low that he was never working himself up in life. I even went and worked at Cal Baptist full time, even though I didn't want to, so that he could go to college for free. And
I thought you said he wouldn't let you work.
Huh?
I thought you said he wouldn't let you work.
he wouldn't. I disobeyed, you could say. I disobeyed and got this job because I was like, look, you can go to college for free. I'll be a secretary. I moved my mom out from Colorado to watch the kids. So I was supporting my own mother because she needed a job anyway. And I was trying to provide a way for this man to get.
Why can't things ever be simple? It's never that fucking simple, right? This started off being about, first of all, I thought this was starting off being about how she stepped out in her marriage. I listened. Turns out, according to her, she had never stepped out of the agreed parameters of her relationships, at least her marriages. Fine. Then this turns into, my husband won't let me work. I couldn't be the woman I want to be because he was holding me back. And you're like, man, that sucks. Like, you people shouldn't hold people back. That's not what we're about. And then we find out. Well, hold on. Let me bring that back, because we also find out that she's a piece of shit, because look how she's talking about this man who was just trying to work and make a living. He didn't make much money, but it sounded like he was pretty handy. And these people, were they compensating him with the most amount of money? No. But he was doing something, right? And the way she talked about him, it was as if he was like a panhandler, right? He was begging for money, but that was not the case. So then we start to get a taste of her character, and then we find out it's not that simple. It's not as simple as him holding her back, or her being, just a very sour person. Just her energy is she's a bitch. I'm just gonna say, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I'm gonna say it. The way she talked about him, I'm not saying he's not holding her back. I'm not saying that he's perfect or whatever. He's not here, so he can't attest to this. But I will say, though, is the way she talked about this working man. No woman that I want anything to do with would talk about a working man that way. Now again, if there's personal agenda attached to it, right? Because you could be a working man and a piece of shit all at the same time. So that does happen. That's very possible. But let's take that out of it, right? It's not that simple. It's not just the two of these people trying to figure that. Now you find out she's trying to take care of her mother too. Are you going to sit here and try to tell me that none of what her husband, or this energy she talks about that her husband was bringing to the table, are we going to sit here and pretend it has nothing to do with the fact that she wanted to take care of her mother? And this husband, probably knowing that her mother's a piece of shit, right? Her mother's probably not a very good person, right? She probably ain't good with her money. She probably doesn't make good decisions. And they're struggling. And while they're struggling, she comes to the table and says, hey, we need to start taking care of my mom, right? And it sounds, and I kind of wonder if she was willing to go back to work just to help him, or if she was only willing to go back to work when her mother also needed help. I don't know. It doesn't say.
Yeah.
Hide it for a second.
How exactly did you disobey when you're flying your mom out and all of this? He must have consented to at least some of that. He had to have, right? You can't just.
I didn't
you
fly.
Get on the phone with your mom at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
My mom was homeless.
We're gonna sneak you out here into the house without him knowing. You didn't do that, right?
No, my mom was.
Listen, I've watched about, 2 minutes of this video just to kind of see where it was going. If I would have known they was going to talk about this 5 seconds before I just talked about it myself. Her mom was homeless and she wanted to take him in, and they were already struggling. So I'm sure that was part of what causes
basically homeless.
a rift. So
she was just basically couch surfing around in Arizona, and I didn't fly her out. I had
her
drive
this shit
out.
up.
I asked her, can you watch the kids? I will rent you a room in another lady's house. And I set everything up in order. It was like me killing two birds with one stone for my family. So I saw it as, here's an opportunity for me to make sure my mom is safe.
And I know some of you guys are going to be like, why are you giving her shit for wanting to take care of her mom? Hey, listen, first of all, when you get in a relationship and you become a partnership, okay, you can't just take people in willy-nilly like that. You have to make sure your partner's on board with it and make sure they're comfortable. And that goes both ways. And second of all, if her mother is old, this bitch is what, late 30s, somewhere in her 40s? I don't know if she mentioned it. But, so her mom's what? 50s, 60s, maybe even 70s. She's couch surfing, homeless. If you ain't figured it out by the time you're 70, it's one thing to be struggling and need some help, and they work something out. Like, yeah, your mom can help if she can, contribute a little bit. She can come stay with us. No, the woman is homeless and she's couch surfing. Excuse me for understanding the husband not wanting to take that in, right? And if they're already struggling and he's not sure what he wants to do with his career and this whole thing, you're just not in a position to help anyone else right now. That's the reality of it. Just so I can explain that
Her
part.
job is going to be to watch my children, which I felt okay with. It's their grandma. And I'm going to go be a secretary at the university where I got my master's degree at in order to bring in some extra money to basically pay for my mom's life and to allow my husband, who is obviously stuck in his financial development, it will allow him to go to college for free, because that was the program. You could either go to college for free, or your spouse, if they hadn't had a degree yet, could go for free. I already had a master's degree by this time.
And he didn't agree to any of this?
It's one of those things where you know what wives do. We're like, come on. He went along with it, not very happy about it, but it made logical
He
sense.
agreed to it.
It made logical sense.
So I don't understand. So this is what I don't understand. It's like, you say he was super controlling, so controlling wouldn't even let you work. And then we find out.
Well, it was very covert. It was
hang on, let me finish. Hang on. I just let you go. Let me at least ask the question.
Sure.
But then we find out, well, wait a second. No, that's not really what happened. What actually happened was your mom, who's homeless, he moved into his house, right?
No. We didn't move her into the house. I rented her a room with another single lady. We had a little tiny apartment. We had no money. We had a 2-bedroom apartment with...
Wait. You just said that part of the reasons you went to work is so that you could support your mom.
So I could kill two birds with basically making sure that my mom's basic needs were met, of having housing, being safe, and I could have this job offered me this perk of letting this...
And taking care of those basic needs in today's day can be very expensive, I'm just putting that out there. And if they're already struggling and they're not sure how they're going to come out of this, that's a tough burden to take.
This man get a degree for free at a private university. That would have cost us $50,000. So I was trying to create an opportunity that he couldn't say no to, is what you could say. And at the end of the day, he went along with it because it made logical sense, but he wasn't okay with it. So he made my life kind of hell.
I don't understand the conflict here. So
because you don't understand, you obviously don't understand the dynamics in these super religious structures of a relationship.
So that's why I'm asking. The problem is like, let's try to have this as a conversation, so I can ask at least some questions before you cut in mid sentence. Otherwise, I can't even ask. So just kind of backing up. What I don't understand here is, mom moves in, right?
She doesn't
you get a
move
job.
in. Mom doesn't move in. She moves in with another lady that I agreed to pay $500 a month for her to live there, to rent a room. She's not living in our apartment.
$500 a month.
So this wasn't one of those situations
not even going to
where
y'all's bills.
Your husband was like, well, if you're going to do that, you need to financially support her?
I'm sure he probably said something like that.
Yeah,
I don't remember. This was like
that does sound logical to me.
Sure,
he
probably said
we can get him
like
on the
that.
phone.
Well, look,
probably.
that's your mom,
Okay.
and if she's homeless, maybe she's, maybe he thinks that she's a screw up or something like that.
Well, to
And
be
he says,
honest,
"Look,"
I sold
what
it
else
to
you
the
gonna think?
man more like, here's your ticket to get a college degree finally. The mom thing was kind of just, that's how the kids will get taken care of. It was neither here nor there, to be honest. It was more about, I'm creating an opportunity for this man to get educated in order to move our family up the financial ladder, even if it took 4 or 5 years for him to get it to bed.
5 seconds. Finish your point, please, and then Andrew can respond.
Okay, so just real quick, What if he didn't want to? What if he didn't want to go to college?
Well,
There's
obviously,
a
at the end
million-
of the day, he
Wait,
didn't.
hold, stop.
Hang on.
Look, Andrew lets you speak. You got to let him finish his sentence before you respond. Go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah. Just, and the thing is that's the most productive way for us to converse. By the way, I want to hear what you have to say, but I need you to hear what I'm saying as well. Otherwise, we're just going to come to bad conclusions. So, if husband says, "Well, I don't want to go to college. That's not my thing. Maybe I want to do a blue collar thing or work myself up, from the bottom of a job or something like this." You say, well, but I want to create this opportunity for you. But how are you creating an opportunity for somebody if they don't want to do that thing? Isn't that actually you who's the one who's being pushy?
Yeah.
You being the one who's being controlling. Wouldn't
Yes.
that be the opposite of him being controlling?
Yes, you're right. And so that is the toxic part of our relationship that I learned. I picked the wrong guy, and he was not the man that I ultimately wanted to partner with or raise children with, because he didn't have that tenacity or that work ethic or that drive.
All right. That's it. I'm done. I don't need to hear anymore. Listen, this woman will try to justify any action of hers, no matter how, I don't want to say heinous, but no matter how unjustifiable it is. I'll just put it that way. She will continue to try and justify it. And unfortunately, there's just people out there like that. Nothing you can really do to change them. Listen, I'm not saying the husband was perfect. I don't know the guy. But the way she spoke about him and then talks about how they were already, trying to figure shit out. And then she decides to take on the burden of paying an extra $500 a month to take care of her mother, who I would also, until I seen otherwise, that maybe she was just struggling and maybe things got hard and she lost shit. Otherwise, I'm going to assume she's a degenerate. And that's not my job to take that on, right? But again, the wife she already insinuated, well, he may have said this and she wasn't listening. She already said she was the one that was pushy, right? And then she said a bunch of shit that made absolutely zero sense. So take with that what you will. But at the end of the day, she's a problem. Was she the problem? I don't know. But she's a fucking problem. Anyway, y'all, until next time, that's my time. And peace out.